Yeah, to that point, Marcos, would you, if you came back, I make you a question. If you came back and start playing and start practicing, and you were 12 or 14 years old, let's say, what would you change?
To be honest with you, Pablo, nothing. Even the mistakes I did, even everything I did made me who I am today. So it's very difficult to say you change something, because if I change something, maybe I wouldn't have what I have today and I wouldn't be the person I am today. So I would say nothing. Yeah.
No. No, it is, because those experiences build you as a person, as a player. What I would change probably is, in Spain we used to practice a lot. Lots of hours, lots of repetitions, and I think what the experience gave me and made me understood is that time, the quality is better than quantity. And in that aspect, I think the time you spend on court, it has to come with a goal. If it comes with nothing, then you just spend time on court and you don't really use that time to get better, to improve. So I think what I would just change is, sometimes have a goal, a better goal, a simple goal, but as you said, every day improve. If it's 1%, because you have a goal, and that 1% in 1 year will become 100%. So that's a little bit what I would share with you guys.
I mean, a very important lesson I learned was from a coach when I went to Bob Brett Academy in Paris when I was 14 years old. The first day he came, he picked me up from the airport. We were sitting in the lobby of the hotel. He introduced himself, we talked a bit, and he told me, Marcos, I have one rule. It's okay to make a mistake. It's fine with me. Do mistakes. But if you make the same mistake twice, it means you're stupid. And it stayed with me like kind of until now. It's funny, it's completely, and I think it was an important message to me, and it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to hit the forehand out. It's okay to miss the return, try something, be more aggressive. It's okay, make that mistake, because that's how you learn.
That's a very important sentence, and for sure it stayed there.
It stayed there until now.
And it probably made you become a better player, for sure.
For sure.
Can you tell us more about your background? When did you start to play tennis, and it's a long journey?
Listen, I started when I was 6 years old, and then when I was 16 years old, I wanted to stop. I wanted to stop studying and just play tennis. But then my parents told me, no, you have to keep studying. And then when I was 18, I made my university exam, and then since then I started my professional career. And then I broke up to the top 100 when I was 22, I think, and probably stayed 7 years when I was 30, or 7 or 8 years. And when I was 30, I had an injury in my elbow, stopped for almost 3 years, and then when I was 33, I came back like a gift that tennis gave me for 5 years, and played once again for 5 years. So that's a little bit the background that I can share with you.
Yeah, and me, I was playing here in Cyprus 1 hour a day, tennis throughout my life until 13, 14 years old. Actually, I stopped tennis from age 9 to 10 and a half years old. I stopped tennis for 1.5 years. And then I picked up a racket again. I wanted to, my goal was to be a professional tennis player, my dream. It's not a goal, it's a dream at that age. And then my father decided to, when I was 14 years old, to leave me go to Paris, France, where I went there. I went into an academy. I stopped school. I didn't have any education from 13 onwards, and we took the risk. There was only one plan A, no plan B, no return flight, and yeah, then I was a good junior tennis player. When I went to Paris, coming from Cyprus, a small, fat kind of kid, chubby kid, being, in the streets of Cyprus, having fun, going to Paris, changed completely the mentality that I have. Start practicing 5 hours a day, fitness, physio, everything. I had everything in the academy, and yeah, start improving, becoming a very good junior player. And at the age of 21, I played the finals of Australian Open, semi-finals of Wimbledon. That was 2006. 2008, I had some 3 different injuries. From number 10 in the world, I went to number 96. I had a hard time. And since that time, I was struggling. I had some good years, back to the top 20, fall down back again. But yeah, and I retired 6 years ago, 2019. My last match was at Wimbledon. And yeah, that's the story of my life.
What was your decision to come to France after 14?
I don't think it was my decision. I had a dream, like I said. To be honest, my older brother was a tennis player. He wanted to become a professional tennis player. Unfortunately, he had a car accident, so he was 7 days in coma, 1.5 years in the hospital, and that's where I stopped tennis. And then when he got better, my family could breathe a bit because it was tough times. Then I decided that I want to follow his dream, and that was a big push. It was my dream to do that, to become a professional tennis player for me and for the whole family. And the decision was my parents. I don't think at 14 I could have taken that decision alone. So, but I was so eager and I was so hungry to becoming a professional tennis player. So yeah, that's what pushed me, and yeah.
And that's probably one of the things that when you're young, you really need to have that hunger to become a tennis player. Otherwise, you won't become a tennis player. There is no way you become a pro without dreaming to become a pro. There is no way. So no matter what, I mean, when I talk to all of the people that are beside me, around me, they told me, but you, Pablo, you lost a lot of things during when you were 12, 14, 16, 18, you lost the time spent with your family, time spent with your friends, new experiences. And I actually tell them, no, I didn't lose them, because at that time my feeling was that I really wanted to practice. I really wanted to go and play a tournament. So that was what I really wanted at that time. So it's not that I lost. That feeling that I lost is not my reality. It's because I was hungry to become a tennis player, and that is what it comes from the heart, and you really need to feel it. Otherwise, there is no way, because you are going to make a lot of sacrifices, as Marcos did when he was 14, or as we have done during our careers, because our professional careers is not playing in Roland Garros, is not playing in Wimbledon. There are a lot of bad experiences as a tennis player, but if you really want to become a tennis player, you have to handle them and embrace them.
When I came here, I have time to read New York Times, and there's a good article, and they said that in that moment the tour is totally crazy. Lots of injury for the player, no time to train. You said that quality more than quantity, but no time to train, always on tournament, always on tour, no time to see the family or to build the family. How you can explain that to them, that this is a special sport and they are probably think about that also if they want to reach the professional time?
If it was a job, yes, it is a job, but a job that I love. So in any job that you do, if you don't love it, you will not be successful. And I think slowly, yes, you are 14 years old, but slowly it will become a job.
Yeah, 100%.
It does become a job. When you're playing junior tournaments and everybody's mentality is a bit different. And I think the people that understand quicker that it's my job, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life, the earlier you understand, the more responsibility you will take yourself and you will improve. So this is how I saw my career and my life. You have to be prepared. I mean, it's very difficult. There is no, even when you're at the top, you always want more. You always want more. You want to push yourself. There is somebody in front of you. If you go number one in the world, I felt all my life like this, under pressure, underestimating myself, wanting more. It's part, and
100%.
And there is depression, there is loneliness, there is a lot of moments where you want to quit. But that's where, when I say it's how bad you want it, like Pablo said, it's how much you want it, how badly you want it, and how much you love it. For me, these two things are very important, because these are when you feel these moments, these are the two things that will push you through your limits. So
yes, 100%. I mean, listen, I have 4 kids, and if one of them wanted to become a tennis player, I would be able to explain all the sacrifices that you have to live and all the things that you will probably have to do to become a tennis player. Once you understand that, then yes, I will support 100%. But first of all, you have to understand everything, and as a tennis player, the data is very tough and difficult to understand. But the reality is that 31 out of 32 players in 1 week lose. So that is tough. 31 out of 32. So you have to be able to understand that a defeat is part of your life, because you will lose every week, or at least almost every week. So if you adapt yourself to that defeat better than the other one, and that you don't lose confidence, trust in yourself, that is going to help you become a better tennis player. Once you understand that as soon as possible, you will become a tennis player. And there's also another thing. We tennis players, I think when you're 12, 11, 13, you are more mature than the rest, because they also take decisions. Since they were very young, they are always taking decisions. Even on a tennis court, they take decisions. So I think that is very important. And then the other thing about the fact that you're not able to practice and to have time alone outside the family, outside your house, or outside your home, that is also something that you have to live with. And if you're not tough enough and strong enough, then for sure you won't be able to become, at least have a long career. That's what I would say. So you have to understand it. No matter which level you have, I think there are the same goals and the same objectives and the same challenges. If you are a top 50, or top 30, or top 10, number 1 in the world, or top 100, or a top 300. The sacrifices are the same and the challenges are the same. But that doesn't mean that tennis is a bad sport. We're just saying all the challenges, we're just telling you all the challenges that you will have to face if you want to become a tennis player. But when you win a tournament, win a match, all the effort that you have been doing during the past, it's worth and you really feel completely full of that energy, and that that you want to keep playing for a long time. And I mean, I miss tennis, so we're telling you all the bad things, but there are lots of positive things of being a tennis player.
I mean, the best feeling is winning a match.
Exactly.
It's going through a tough training also, even though it's tough at the moment, but when you feel so strong, so it gives you that adrenaline, I mean, that, I don't know, addiction feeling.
Yes.
And winning a match, winning a point sometimes, like even losing a match, but having a great experience on the court with the full crowd, he's right. We went in and we gave you all the bad stuff, but there are a lot of good stuff, and it's a nice life out of the bad things, but it's a nice life. And would you, let's say you were born again, would you do this? Would you have
100%?
Me too. So I think there is a lot of good moments.
But yes, now that we speak about mental health and all that, those kind of stuff, I'm sure I had during my career moments of, I don't know if you can call it depression, but yes, we were sad lots of times. I don't know if depressed is the name, but those bad moments where you feel completely alone, and that you have all that pressure or that weight behind you, and you are the one, because you are the one taking the decisions, you are the one playing, and at the end of the day you are the one driving your career. Those moments are tough, but that builds your personality, that builds you as a tennis player, and that builds you as a person. And that is the value, I think, that we tennis players have when we finish our careers. When you finish your academic career and you start a job, you don't have the background that a tennis player has. A tennis player has a background of those moments, how to handle those stress moments, how to handle those difficult moments throughout your career. That is a value that we tennis players have.
And I think also it's like any other job, huh? I mean, any other thing you do. There is bad days too. Life is not just happy moments, happy life, everything. It's moments where you have good moments, bad moments, and you have to handle the bad moments. It's knowing how to handle the bad moments as best as you can, because the good moments are happy and everything is good. So it's life. It's life in general. So don't take that it's only tennis. I think it's life in general.
Life in general is tough. Yes.
Now I would like to know your experience. We speak about more technique, tennis technique. When you were a player, it changed a little bit now. The game changed. And what will be the game when they reach the ATP Tour? What do you think about that? It's hard, but it will help me, please. And of course, men and women.
You go, Marcos.
Okay. So, yeah, for sure it changed. It does change. I think before, not technique, I don't like to call technique, because it's the biomechanic of the shot, let's say, which changed because of also the surface. Courts are slower now, more bouncy. So before it was more easier to get the ball here. So people that had cleaner techniques was much easier to play. Now it's more bouncy. The physicality of the people has changed. Kids are taller and taller. Yes. Like if you see, my kids will be taller than me, and I was taller than my parents, and it's the evolution of life, I guess. And that's where mature will come in, because I think technology is very important. That's where the technology of the racket, of the strings, and I think also as player, one thing that I never did, and you asked me if I regret something, that's one thing I never did and I regret, is understanding more my equipment. my racket, my shoes. You know, it's very important. These are very important stuff, and I am not the expert in that, but I can tell you it's important. I played with the same racket. In the middle, I changed a bit, but I was playing with similar racket from 14 years old, and that was a big mistake because I didn't evolve my racket. And I mean, we are here with Tecnifibre, but I think they've done something that other brands are not doing for now. They're evolving rackets with personalized for each player. It's again what we said in the beginning. It's improving yourself, improving your material also. It's very important, and it's one thing that I never did, honestly, and I regret it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think we when we started, everything was less professionalized. Now I see your kids 12, 14 years old, they are already professional tennis players, right? And it happens in all kind of sports. When I speak to my friends, their kids play football, for example, they are already professional when they are 12 or 14 years old. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know, but the reality is that it is what it is, right? So you have to adapt to that, and that's where I personally think that quality is better than quantity, because especially now that the careers are longer, I think you have to preserve the health of the players. Not only the physical health, but also the mental health. When you are 12 years old, 14 years old, you are passionate about tennis, but maybe if you lose a couple of matches, when you turn 16, 17, your expectations and the expectations of all the people surrounding you maybe create some mental health issues, and that's where probably a tennis player says, I stop. So try to manage all of that is challenging, especially for the coaches, for the parents, but I think it is needed. It is needed, especially nowadays when you have these professional 12-year-old players that are already like practicing a couple of times a day, blah, 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 no? So that's one thing. And the other thing is, as Marco said, all the specs of the rackets, everything that the technology can help with, it's also very, very important. And that's where the whole tennis ecosystem hasn't evolved, in my opinion. When I say tennis ecosystem, I say the coaches and the players. I don't think the coaches know the specs of the racket as much as the manufacturers, and the players don't know. And that's where I think there's still a big gap where the tennis players and the coaches should know more about the specifications of the rackets, of the clothes, of everything.
When I was playing college, like my racket was like 330 grams unstrung. Like it's impossible to play with that now. It's like basically impossible. And almost the entire tour is below swing weight, like in the 300s and below, because it's so quick, it's so thin. And if you kind of don't evolve with where the game is going, like you're gonna fall behind. And, remember Federer, how long it took him to switch from a 90 square inches? I mean, that switch.
Yeah, but your point is great, but it's important to start early.
Yeah.
Like at this age, to start understanding the technology, and because if you, like when after 20, 25, you start, you're always scared, and if I change this, if I change that, and you're scared to lose what you already have. And but yeah, your point is great, but start from young age.
Experiment, try new things.
And you made a question about the evolution of tennis, right? I think when we started, there were clay court specialists, there were hard court specialists. I think because it has changed and evolved and everyone plays more or less the same. I think also the courts are, as Marcos said before, are slower, and now all of the players step on the court to return. Before, they used to go, if you were a clay court tennis player, you used to return, 3 meters behind. So I think it's an evolution, and you have to adapt. You had a guy 2 meters tall who couldn't move, just served. Now he actually serves but also moves. And you had a guy 180 who served just kick serves, and now he serves fast and moves. So it's evolution. It's every small aspect, every small detail of the game is being analyzed, and that's how I think it has evolved. And we, as tennis players, as tennis coaches, as agents, as manufacturers, we have to be part of that evolvement, of that evolution, because otherwise you won't make it. So you need to, to be there. Otherwise.
Moi j'ai une question, c'est c'était qui le joueur pour vous le plus dur à battre?
Tous les matchs c'était the question is which player was the most difficult to beat. Yes. I would say there is no easy matches. I mean.
No, but are you asking for a name? Tu veux un nom, hein? Ouais. Djokovic ou Nadal ou?
Oui, n'importe.
N'importe.
Pablo Andujar.
No. I don't think so. I personally would say Djokovic. Yeah. I played Djokovic several times, and I have always felt it was impossible to beat. I played Federer, I played Nadal, and I didn't feel exactly the same. Although playing Nadal on clay, I personally felt that as well, but I was able to, it's completely different kind of game. But with Nadal, for example, you felt you could drive the point, right? You could control a little bit more. With Novak, for example, in my opinion, when I went to play against Novak, I said, okay, so he serves better than me, he moves better than me, he has a better forehand than me, better backhand than me, he has everything better, right? So there's no way to, so I personally would say Novak. I think it was in 2012, 2013, where I think he was playing unbelievable. He probably lost 2 or 3 matches that year, so yeah. I would say Novak.
Pablo, what was the tough thing about Djokovic when you played it that made you feel impossible? The depth of the ball, how he was controlling the point?
One of the things, I played him once in the 4th round in Indian Wells, okay? And I had beat three tough matches, so I was playing well, and I said to myself, I think I have a chance. Center court, 4th round, we start 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, 4-0, 6-love. Fuck. Okay. And I felt that, first of all, when I was serving, the return, as soon as I stepped, the return was there. So I had to, he was returning really fast and really long. That's one thing. And then during the point, I felt he was a little bit faster than me. The ball was going a little bit faster, and he didn't miss. So he was doing not the same as me, because I was missing more, and but it was like the 3.0 of Pablo, and I was playing unbelievable,
Yes, I completely agree with you. I played him 11 times, I lost 11 times. We had some close matches, 5 sets in Wimbledon, 3 sets in Dubai. We had some close matches, but still, it's like what Pablo said. You stay with the backhand. I felt that I had a good backhand. I mean, on tour. So you stay with him to the backhand, you feel like all the time pressure. He's pushing you back. He's playing deep. I think his biggest quality is the first shot is always pushing you back. So sometimes like I would think like I'm gonna go down the line. He comes to my backhand, I'm gonna change it, go down the line immediately. He's there playing a high ball to your backhand, and then the only chance you have is go cross to his backhand again, and then he goes down the line. So I felt like with him there was no solutions, like he was closing doors in every play you did. But now I would like to, but this is important topic, like how do you stay in that present moment? Do you guys know how do you stay in that present moment?
Focus on the point that you will play.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, the moment, the dangerous moment, it's when you finish the point. You have time, when you take the balls, when you go, you have time to think. So, me first, I never walk online.
Routines, guys. Routines are the things that control your emotions and keep you in the present.
100%.
Routines. I had my routines. I think Rafa Nadal, when he does this with his bottles, is not because he's crazy.
It avoids that feeling or that you start thinking about the future.
I mean, most of the time. Sometimes it happens but you know, like I had a routine to take 2 balls here from this 1 ball boy here, 2 balls here, 2 balls here, then give the ball here, and so everybody has his own routines that keeps him in the present moment, and I think are very important.
And then when you start the point, I think patterns are very important. When you start the point, with what are the 3 points where you feel comfortable? Well, I serve wide, and then, as he said, I go cross court or down the line. Well, that is my game. That is where I feel I control, and I'm so okay. In that important moment where I feel a little bit more tight, that is what I'm going to use. Tennis career is long term. It's a marathon. Long term, you need patterns. Marcos, at least when I played with Federer, the one thing that surprised me the most was what you just said, the serve and the first ball. He was the best doing that. Serve and first shot, he was unbelievable. He won already the point with those first 2 points, serve and first point.
The tactics of the game just feels like it's like I gotta dominate the first 4. After that, and then I moved to America. I played college tennis, and you're seeing like, you know, they obviously all grew up throwing things, and they can all serve. And even if you feel like you're the better tennis player, you can get out of it, right? And so like as a young kid, sometimes like that part of the development can get a little tricky, because it's not just going and serving baskets, right? It's going and serving to the +1 and train. How are you going to develop that aspect from a young age? I mean, Roger was the best at serving +1. Rafa was probably the best at dominating off the return, but also like, what are you going to do? He's going to serve you out wide and have a forehand. What are you going to do out of that? And so that seems like it is a big evolution of the game, but that sometimes is overlooked at a younger like level, and then to train that is, you know, different schools, different involvements, but it seems like in general everyone needs to be doing that a lot more and paying more attention, because otherwise you're going to fall behind in a way.
I'm a believer that in these ages you have to build rather than destroy. And what you were saying is, okay, I go 1, 2, 3 and that's it. I think they need to build, to understand the game, to gain that mentality and that resistance in those kind of points that you were saying. But in that evolution, then you have to go into the detail, into those aspects, and make that evolution of those 3 strokes. That's it, and come to the net. But that comes afterwards, in my opinion. That comes afterwards. Not, I wouldn't start with them with one serve. What you were saying, right? That I don't think it's.
It's just like, it felt like looking back, it just felt like a detail that maybe was missed.
Yeah,
in the development.
exactly.
And I was like, yeah, obviously you just need to grind as a kid. You're gonna
Exactly.
have to grind, and there's no way around it. But that we could have spent have a little bit more. I didn't have the awareness of that as a
No.
maybe.
I think also it's about the mentality. It's not also about just working serve and first ball. It's about building the mentality of the child or the player, how to play for the future, what to improve in. Like, let's say when I was with Guillaume Père again, when I was 17, we were playing some futures in France. Like, I remember win or lose the match, afternoon or after the match, I would go. The only thing I would do is serve, first ball. I would do like 30, 40. But again, if you do it every day, you keep the consistency, these 20, 30 become, I don't know, 1 million after a year.
Just having that awareness that so much of the game has gone that way, which is kind of crazy.
Especially return of serve, the same thing. I think it's one of the very important like shot in the game that a lot of people don't work on it so much. Because if you can, like I had a very good return, and I felt like I felt when the other guy saw me in front of him, I could feel he was scared. He was scared. So I won so many matches or break people because of the eye contact, not because of anything else, just having in front of me. Guys, there is no book that says you do this, you succeed.
Exactly. There is no way. No.
We were waiting for that for already 2 hours.
I'm sorry, it's.
No. I would say have faith also. Yes, there is a bit of faith in this, in everybody's life. I think destiny, right people come at the right time. You know, it's how life works. Some people for tennis, some people for other things. And yeah, it's the way it is.
Yeah, I think in life in general, there's always a part of luck or destiny. Call it, you take a decision that 20 years later or 10 years later, you feel that was the decision, the right decision, and that built you and made you change. But nothing comes without effort, and nothing comes without all these things that we were talking about before, right? I think you really need to feel that you want to become a tennis player. Otherwise, there's no decisions. Even if you hire the best coach and the best agents and you practice in these amazing courts, if you don't want to become a tennis player, you won't become a tennis player.
You've been going through this all the way in your life. So what is the difference, for example, between 250 player and the 50 player in mentally?
Talent. No. No, it's a great question.
Great question.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough to say.
It's a great question. I think, personally, before, when we played, the gap was bigger. Right now, when I see a guy ranked 300, I feel he's an amazing player. He's an unbelievable player, and maybe before it was not the case. But I think it all remains in the routines that you do from day one, 1st January, to the 31st of December. If you're not able to be consistent during the whole year, that's where maybe you don't find that improvement in your ranking. And that's where probably I see the big difference in those routines. And as Marcos said before, I think believe in yourself. That belief probably is less in a guy that is higher in the ranking. Yeah. No?
Yeah, it's a tough one, but I completely agree with you. I'm just thinking maybe
Different
to add
things,
something,
yeah.
yes, but no.
Tennis, is a sport where you cannot be impatient. You need patience, because what you are building now, it will probably come up in 3 years. You don't know. So it's a long-term career. It's a marathon, as I said before. Who really stays there and believes that is the right thing to do and is consistent, he will make it.
And I think a lot of people, let's say, what Pablo is saying, consistency, believe, let's say, a person who will lose a match, who is 250, and a person who is maybe 100 or 50, they lose the same match, they will take it differently. Maybe the one who is 250, he gets more disappointed, so it takes him longer to come back, to maybe he says, I need some rest, find excuses. And I think the top players, one thing they do very well is they don't lie to themselves. Sometimes the truth hurts, but the more you tell yourself the truth, in the long run, the better it is for you. And I think there is a lot of people in this range, I don't know, but I believe, I'm not saying that for sure, that they lie to themselves a lot. They are not very honest to themselves, and I think
It happens,
that's
yes. Absolutely.
That's, you know.
When there's a chance, I think when there is a chance, you need to be prepared
To take it. And self-discipline comes to that.
100%.
Self-discipline, like if you go through self-discipline, you eat right, you sleep right, you do everything right. At that chance that you have, that moment that you have, you're gonna take it. Because you are so hungry, you did everything so well, so, you know, you were so self-disciplined that at that moment, that chance, there is 99% of the chance you'll take that chance.
And that is one of the challenges that we tennis players have.
Yeah.
Why? Because we are independent contractors, right? If you are a Real Madrid soccer player, they tell you what to eat, where to go, what to do, since 9 a.m. till 11, right? So I think that is where that self to be, you know, your self-discipline, exactly. Yourself, telling to yourself what to do and the things that you really need to do. And that not only one day, but through all the year. And that is where you see the difference. You know, you see the example of Novak. We were talking about Novak. Novak is one year less than, he's 38 years old. It is amazing the way he has managed his career, and he is able still to be in the top level. Why? Is it luck? No. It's because he has been self-disciplined since he was 14 or 13 years old.
Yeah, some people can do it for 2 years, 3 years.
Exactly.
Some people can do it for 45 years. I mean, it's the nature of human beings. Drive the courts. Let's go. Everybody to work.
Okay, let's go.